What nobody really tells you when you start studying for the GMAT is the following. The most important determinant factor for how hard your studying is going to be is your starting level, that first score you get on the first mock test, which is largely determined by your educational background in university and by what you actually did up to your high school years. Let me explain to you why, and I'm going to talk about quant. There are three things that make quant very difficult that you have to master to do really well on the test. Number one, your foundations. How fast are you able to determine 2 to the power of 8 times 5? If it's something that takes you a lot of time, and if it's something that requires you to think deeply about why and how you actually arrive at the answer, then you're too slow. And you have to spend a lot of time building that foundation, because that foundation is very much like learning the rules of English, the grammar, the vocab, and how all the language comes together to convey meaning. That is very difficult to learn, and it requires a lot of repetition and a lot of drilling to develop the assimilation so that you're able to actually solve these questions without having to think much about them. Number two, word translation. How easy is it for you to read a lot of words and then translate those words into a clear, concise equation and define very clearly what is the variable that you're actually trying to determine? And so this requires solving a lot of problems until you develop the intuition to know what are some possible steps that you can take to actually translate this problem into something very clear and concise. And so this modeling requires a lot of practice to develop the intuition. And this requires that you have that very strong foundation where it doesn't cost you so much energy to make calculations, to write down algebraic expressions, to be able to assess very quickly whether they're the right step to take or not. And the last step is to be efficient. Now, what is really going to take you from an average performance on GMAT Quant to an elite performance is to write on a space no larger than this to solve a problem. So how to go from writing this much on an A4 size paper to writing this much. That efficiency that you learn and the skills that you learn to be that efficient is what's going to allow you to solve a lot of difficult problems in, on average, 2 minutes per question. If you would like to learn how, subscribe to my channel.